I am at Fort Grifith, and it is right on the west side of the Sabine River Pass. That what you see there is a bar, a sandbar, and the name is the Oyster Bar. The fort fought a battle, Fort Griffith fought a battle during the Civil War in 1863 against the Yanks. Of course, this is Texas, and the Texans were part of the Confederacy. The Yankees or the Union were traveling west, and the idea was to take control of Texas to prevent the French from entering on the Confederate side, Confederate Army side. So they decided to bring about 5,000 soldiers through the oceans, through the sea, through the Gulf of Mexico. And everything went well until they started going up a river from that direction. That is actually the Gulf of Mexico. So they were coming up, and in this site right here that we're looking at, this is a point, a reference point. The fort attacked the ships going upriver, and there were several ships. The U.S. Arizona, the U.S. Granite City, the gunboat USS Shaman or Sachem, and the USS Clifton. So the batteries opened up on them, and they damaged the Sachem, the USS Sachem, and the US Clifton. The Clifton ran aground right there where that machine is, and the Sachem on the other side of the sandbar. So they surrendered. They were held prisoners, and 5,000 soldiers could never land. So the small gathering here of Confederate soldiers completely ruined the aspirations of the control of Texas. The leader of the battery was a soldier named Lieutenant Dowling, and he did an excellent job on the Yankees. Let me show you the best I can with the telephone. The sun is behind my back, so it's extremely hard for me to see. But that way I give you an idea of what the battle looks like. Maybe you can read that, or you can research it. The name of the battle is the Battle of Sabine Pass, and this is Sabine, Texas. And this is what the fort looked like. It's a fort made out of wood, actually. So it's nothing left but reference points. You know, it's just points of references. That's it. But that was the cornerstone of the fort. And then you see another one right in that direction. You see the cornerstone they put on the ground, so we have an idea of what it looks like. And right here some records or data of what it was. Union casualties at the Battle of Sabine Pass on the USS Sachem. Pretty much all of them were from Massachusetts and New York volunteer. they did miss a few men. Isaiah Carter, John Sache, Willis Green, John Horton, John Rolles, and William Wilson. And on this side was Oscar A. Brown, Andrew Bourdain, Ruben Canfield, Franklin Alford, Richard Tucker, Andrews Brown, and Ishabo Boom. And they were, of course, they always have to introduce identity or assign identity. In this case, it's a easy show. They on the bottom they actually divide the soldiers. They say 25 African American men fought here on behalf of the Union. So they do not call them Yanks or Americans or Union soldiers. No, they have to go ahead and make sure that they're different. So this is a typical example of how in the United States to this day we're still trying to assign identity. We do not call these men heroes. We call them Africans, Hispanicals, Italians, or whatever. You know, they always assign some kind of the identity to try to divide these guys. This is our Yanks. This is our Confederates or rebels, and this and the other. But in the reality is all these people were Americans, were part of the Union or the Federation. So you see that over and over in all the monuments. Now this fort, this is a memorial to the lieutenant, the defense on the Confederate side. And he said right here, in memory of Lieutenant Richard W. Dowling and his men. It's a beautiful statue made out of bronze. Now the fort, as you notice, they have different sections to it. Like for example, that is a magazine, and that is a battleman. The same is this one right here. It's a battleman and a magazine, and that is because this pass is very important to the defense of the Gulf of Mexico. And they have batteries out here. After the Civil War, they established again a fort a few miles from here to defend from the Spaniards, from the Spanish Armada. And during World War II, the same. They established a defense to defend from submarines and German ships or men of wars. Now this is a replica in concrete of what the fort looked like. So as you see, it was aiming completely at the mouth of the Sabine Pass, and the Sabine River in this case is coming from that direction. As you see that bridge out there, that's Bowman, Texas. So it's coming from the north, coming south all the way across the landscape, and all that is full of navy or naval shipping industries. Now, as you see, there is a right by that tree out there is a triangle piece of metal, and that actually belongs to the Clifton. That piece of metal is the top of the engine, the steam engine at the time they were using, and it has some paddle wheels on either side, and that metal piece there is is the rocking arms to transfer the direct lineage motion of the piston into a rotating motion to propel the Clifton. Of course, the Clifton got bombarded right there, so it sunk right there. And they retrieved that in, I think it was 1911. I'm not quite sure. I should remember that number. Anyway, this is what the battery looked like from the front. Yeah, it is a very ingenious model to create that out of concrete. There's a lot of hurricanes out here, so everything is destroyed. Like for example, a fort built in the 1890s, I think it started in 1896, was destroyed by hurricane. You can check the name of these guys and do research on them if you like, because I don't have enough data on my phone or battery. And this guy was killed in Alaska, and his body was moved to San Francisco for burial. Mr. Commodore Leon Smith. Now let me show you what a World War II magazine looks like. It's a very ingenious way to build it. One of these magazines exploded, killing an 11-year-old. So they finally abandoned all these magazines. But if you see, it's a lot of earth on this side, the magazine, that is the door of the magazine. So if there's any explosion, all that explosion will be coming out of that door directly onto that mass of earth, and it will bounce right up. So it is an ingenious design. Everywhere that I go to explore is a lot of mud, so I bring my dirty shoes. So this is the door. It appeared to be like an original door. Even have the grease fittings. You can put grease on them. And apparently that is to bend any or direct all the energy of the explosion out of the hole. Try to minimize it as possible. So it's nothing but reinforced concrete, rebar, and earth. And all three of these are the same. Well, I hope you enjoy this video and learn some from it. It's kind of windy. My eyes are getting dirt or sand in it. If you like to come here, it's about 30 minutes south of Beaumont on Highway 83. And the name of the road is easily to remember. It's the name of the Lieutenant Colonel who was in charge of the fort at the time of the battle. And during World War II, this is what it looks like. The same fort, it's the same place. Of course, it's no longer there because the hurricanes destroyed it. And what they used was just Hollyserms. It was a M 1918 155 millimeter, a Panama gun. They call that a Panama gun. And of course, they always have the searchlights to look out to the pass. I'm going to climb the magazine. I always try to get my glasses on the right spot, otherwise I will lose them. I lost already a few pairs exploring. They fall out of my head and I didn't even notice it. So I'm going to climb, try not to fall. And this is the top of the magazine. Now this magazine is a little differently, or designed a little differently. Now that is a tugboat going to work. Now the magazine is in this case flat, completely flat. And it has a vent, I guess, to allow all the explosive force come through that the hatch. Now this is significant, very significant, because this tugboat is one of the most advanced tugboat ever designed. That tugboat is diesel electric, and they have a big propeller on the bottom of it. It can go in any direction. They are very expensive machine, but without it will be no shipping in this area. I'm trying to see the name of the vessel, but I do not see it, so I just call it number 17. Those things have a tremendous amount of horsepower. You can move that big ship. If I can get it in my camera or my telephone camera, it can move that big ship, no problem. Now you can get a good perspective of what the battle looked like. That is what it probably looked like at the time. The only thing the ships were different was steam engines. So imagine from here shooting at each other cannonballs. I mean, you really have to be in a hell of a friend of mine to do battle with somebody else. Basically trying to kill one another. Oh, that's what they actually were doing. Well, this is Fort Grifith. I hope you enjoy it.